Fire investigators now know what led to a fire at a murder-suicide scene in Calhoun.
And tonight the public gives their input on the next Metropolitan Transportation Plan.
Right now, from your breaking news and weather authority, this is KNOE 8 News at 10.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Boyle.
And I'm Jenna Browder. First, your no-wait weather. Tom?
Well, we saw a super warm day today. Not quite record high temperatures, but...
Well, tonight, new information in a deadly hit-and-run accident. Louisiana State Police have been investigating since it happened around 6 this morning near Oak Grove.
They now have a visual of the truck who hit the pedestrian and kept going. Now, this picture was taken from surveillance footage from a business close to where the incident happened. Troopers say it's a four-door Ford 4 Series pickup with gold fender flares. It swerved to avoid a collision and hit 22-year-old David Smith of Greenbrier, Arkansas. Now, troopers say Smith was walking in the middle of Louisiana Highway 17, just south of Oak Grove, when he was hit by a Jeep first, driven by Betty James.
Yeah, her truck then stopped, blocking the southbound lane. That's when the Ford hit Smith and continued north into Oak Grove. Smith died at a local hospital. Here is a look at the Ford again. Troopers are asking anyone with information to contact them or the West Carroll Sheriff's Office. A story we first reported yesterday continues to develop. Today we learned that gasoline was used to start the fire that burned down the house of a Calhoun couple. The deaths of 52-year-old Larry Lysoto and 57-year-old Diane Lysoto were ruled a murder-suicide. Their bodies were found in the rubble after the fire was put out at their home on Bill Banks Road. Fire investigators tell us Larry Lysoto shot his wife in the head, set the mobile home on fire, and then killed himself. Investigators say they found a gas can near their bodies. We now know the name of the man who jumped off the Indom Bridge into the Ouachita River.
The search ended today when police found 21-year-old Scotty Welzy of West Monroe, in that river. Monroe police were called to the bridge about 11:30 yesterday morning. They shut down the bridge right away and started looking for Welzy with several other agencies in that search. All right, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is asking you to be on the lookout for a teenage girl. 17-year-old Mayshay Gonzalez disappeared from Monroe back in May. Now, she was recently seen in the area again. They think that she's with a male friend. Now, she's 5'6", weighs about 145 pounds. If you know who she is or where she is, please call 1-800-THE-LOST. Tonight, the Ouachita Council of Governments invited the public to discuss transportation issues they now have or may develop in the future.
The Metropolitan Transportation Plan is due for an update this year. 2 meetings were held this week to find out what you and I would like to see done in the next 20-plus years. J.D. Allen with the Alliance Transportation Group says he hears one request brought up at all of these meetings: a 4th bridge.
So that's a big project. We're still in the planning stages on that, but we're far along in the planning stages on that. And it's important to continue doing these types of efforts. I know it feels like we're planning forever, but that's a lot of money, and when that money does come available, we want to be ready.
The Metropolitan Transportation Group says this update is part of the 2040 plan and will go into effect this December. Well, it has been years since the Monroe Police Department got an upgrade online.
And today they launched a new website, though, to give everybody a more interaction with them. Monroe Police are attempting to rebrand themselves. They want this website to kind of represent some of that. Chief Quentin Holmes says there are links on the page where we can all learn about police officers, both past and present, as well as submit feedback and even ask for help. You can check it out for yourself. Go to yourmpd.com. Well, tonight farmers gathered in Bastrop to learn a little bit more about the 2014 Farm Bill. Certainly complicated. A lot to learn here. Officials with the Department of Agriculture want to make sure producers are aware of all of the options under the new legislation. At the meeting, program specialist Matthew Springer discussed non-insured crop disaster assistance. He's encouraging producers to take advantage of what he calls an underutilized program.
This program's been around since 1996. And this is a revamp through the 2014 Farm Bill, where we're trying to get more producers involved and participate in covering some of their smaller crops.
For more information, visit the Farm Service Agency's website. And news coming out of Grambling State University tonight. Interim President Cynthia Warwick says she will not seek permanent presidency.
Warwick released a statement today saying she's enjoyed her time at GSU, but will honor her agreement not to apply for a permanent position. She says she will continue to give the school her best as she completes her term. Warwick has served as the interim president for about 6 months now. The U.S. Senate has passed a bill approving the controversial Keystone XL oil pipeline, and now it heads to the House. If it passes there, it'll go to the president, who's already threatened to veto it. The bill allows the construction of the more than 1,100-mile pipeline, which would carry oil from Canada to Nebraska, where it would then connect with an existing pipeline to Gulf Coast refineries. Next, we turn back the clock to the 1930s and take a look at ULM through the years.
Plus, big night of college hoops. Aaron has some rim-rattling highlights you'll won't want to miss coming up later in sports.